We all find ourselves in the position where we wish that we could just have a little bit more time. In this video, we'll go through ways in which you can trade a little bit of money to buy back some of your time. So let's get started. If you've got little kids around, it is literally amazing how many pairs of clothes they go through in a single day. So if you're like me and you find yourself doing laundry every other day, I looked up in my local area that there are actually laundry services you can actually sign up for. So how it works is this: they leave a laundry bag at your doorstep that's empty and you fill it up with all your laundry. They pick it up, wash it, dry it, fold it and deliver it back to you in a day or two. Around my area, I have found that this service costs about $1.50 to $2 a pound of clothes. So depending on how much laundry you generate and how much your time is worth to you, this might be a hit or miss with some people. I personally don't pay for a laundry service because I looked up the amount of clothes we generate every single day and I figured that this rate of expense is just too much for me personally, but it might make sense to some people. If you have a washer dryer at home, you can put loads in whenever possible and then couple the folding and putting away activity with something enjoyable like watching TV. So what we personally do is we say, I spy with my little eye a bunch of shirts that have to go into the laundry, and then the kids run and put it away. It becomes a really fun game. So we kind of gamified our way out of this one. So for the longest time, I kept resisting the idea that I should get somebody to help me with my house cleaning services. But eventually it just got too much. Now here's the other thing. When you clean your own place, not only do you spend the time cleaning the entire place, you also spend time recovering from the exhaustion that results from that cleaning. So how much do you really have to spend to get some house cleaning services? From what I have looked up in my area, it typically runs anywhere between $20 to $50 per hour of work. The best way to really find out is to get some quotes from cleaning companies in your area. They'd be happy to get a description from you, or you could even send them pictures of your home, square footage, the number of bedrooms you have, the number of bathrooms you have, and they'll let you know roughly how much it's going to cost. From my experience, a lot of cleaning companies typically ask you to get a deep cleaning done and clean up a lot of your house before you get onto the regular cleaning schedules. These deep cleanings typically cost like $300 to $500 depending on the size of your house, but it's like a one-time thing and it gets rid of a lot of the crud that has been built up in your house over the years. So once you get your deep cleaning done, typically your house cleaning can run you a few $100s every month. And I completely understand it's really expensive for many people to have this level of cleaning service. The next best option is to get yourself a really good vacuum cleaner. So this is what we did before we hired cleaning services. So we went out and got ourselves a Dyson handheld vacuum that is cordless too. So it's light and really portable, and I could get a lot of cleaning done without spending a lot of energy. And this was an absolute game changer. But here's the thing, it's like a one-time expense. These expensive vacuums can run you $300 to $400, but if you compare this to the cleaning service, it is a one-time expense that's going to keep paying you back over the long run. The other option is to get these robot vacuums, which can even run you up in the range of $700 or $800. However, since it's automatic, it's going to save you a lot more energy. So whatever you do, it's time to dump that big old vacuum cleaner that requires you to plug it into the wall socket wherever you go. The next one is something we've got to do for the rest of our lives, and it's worth figuring this out. So the absolute quickest way to buy yourself out of this one is to eat out all the time, because it saves you from doing everything like buying groceries, prepping it, cooking it, putting it away, and cleaning up the dishes. However, good quality food, even if it's readily available around you, over the long term can get really expensive. But I do have friends who tell me that it is worth it to them to go out and eat every time because it saves them this whole hassle. And I totally understand that. Another alternative to eating out all the time is to have pre-prepared meal kits delivered to your doorstep. There are companies like HelloFresh and Fresh and Lean who actually ship food right to your doorstep, and the preparation process is pretty simple and there are instructions right in the package that is delivered to you. So it's pretty easy to get it set up and cooked for you in a relatively short span of time. The cost per serving is typically between $10 to $20, and while this calculus might work for some people, it's really not an option for those with bigger families. Another option that might work for some people is to get pre-prepared meals from places like Costco or similar grocery stores, where you can just pop the food in the oven or the microwave and in a few minutes you can put food on the table. Cost-wise, it is a much much better choice than all the options we have looked at so far and might be a decent choice for families. Pre-prepared meal kits tend to get unhealthy over the long term, and so to have best control over what you eat and put in your body, it comes down to prepping food on your own. Obviously, this is the most economical choice because you get to choose the ingredients and prep it the way that you see fit. So if you have to do everything by yourself, you might as well gamify this one too to make sure you have a good time while you're doing it. So what we do on weekends is put some music on, get the kids and start the meal prep, cut some fruits, cut some veggies, get everything prepared for the week. The other advantage is that by meal prepping in one go, you get to use the oven while it's hot to prepare a bunch of stuff. You can even reuse pots and pans to minimize the cleanup after. And here's the other thing, when food is ready, get yourself enough Tupperware, pack them up and put them right into the fridge, and all you have to do during the week is just take it out of the fridge, dump it in your bag, and you're ready to go. Alright, the next one is a big one. Commute. As of 2019, Americans spend an average of 27.6 minutes in their commute, and about 10% of all Americans spend an hour or more. So this is an enormous time suck in a day. It could so happen that you work in an area where houses around your workplace are very expensive to live in. This is typically the case in most city downtowns. So the trade-off you end up making here is that you pay more in rent or mortgage every month so that you can minimize your commute time. However, this is slightly offset by the fact that you might pay lesser in transportation costs. The other option is that try to locate yourself near public transportation areas. That way, while you're commuting to work, you actually have time to yourself to listen to podcasts, read a book, or even talk to a friend. Post-pandemic, a lot of companies are utilizing a hybrid work model where people work from home some of the time and then on site some of the time. This is something you can negotiate with your manager and see if you can minimize your commute time by doing something like this. This can be another way you can buy back time. Of course, if you have the option for remote work, then none of this applies to you. Childcare. I've got to say up front that time spent with your child is priceless, and this is something you can never outsource. However, every so often we can use that little bit of extra help around the house so that the time we spend with our children is actually quality time instead of the distracted time we always have where we are anxious about getting stuff done. And this one I wish I knew when my children were actually younger, and is what is called a mother's helper. Now, I would go on to say it could be what you call a parent's helper instead, but care.com, also not sponsoring this video, insists on calling it a mother's helper, so we'll roll with that one. So what does a mother's helper actually do? A mother's helper can help you with the dishes, do some laundry, watch the older children while the parent tends to the younger child, help with homework, help with wrapping gifts around holiday times. You can think of mother's helpers as babysitters in training. The difference between mother's helpers and actual babysitters are that mother's helpers are not allowed to watch the children while the parents are not around. So your supervision is always there, but mother's helpers are there to give you that little extra hand. Since we've never hired a mother's helper, if any one of you out there have done so, we would love to hear your experience in the comment section below. So there you go. I hope this video has given you some ideas on how you can use money to buy back some of your time and hire services that help you make the most of your day. If you did enjoy this video, click the like button down below and do consider subscribing to the channel. Catch you on the next one.